Okay, so solve problems that can be modeled by linear equations. So that means basically word problems. All right, when we are solving word problems, you want to make sure you read the problem carefully. You want to look for particular information, identify any formulas that you may be able to use. You want to assign, step 2, you want to assign variables so that you know what is representing what. Step 3, you want to make a list. So if possible, create a table of information. And then step 4, solve the equation for the variable that you're missing. And then always, always, always check that it makes sense to the problem and that you didn't come up with any undefined situations. Okay, time to think. So a total of $24,000 is invested, some in stocks and some in bonds. If the amount invested in bonds is half that invested in stocks, how much is invested in each category? Dun, 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 dun. All right, so we're gonna follow the rules. So we read, we're gonna identify our variables. So we're gonna make one X and one Y, right? So we know that we can make, what was the first thing I read? Stocks. So we'll let X equal stocks. And then we have bonds. So we'll let Y equal bonds. Still with me? Okay, we know that together, X plus Y equals 24,000. We're not there yet. The first thing we know that together their total is 24,000, right? So that this makes our first equation. That first sentence makes our first equation. The second sentence makes our second equation. And it says, if the amount invested in bonds is half the invested in stocks. So we know that bonds means equal mathematically, is half of my stocks, is X divided by 2. Does that make sense? So we now have our two equations. All right. Uh-oh, my bad. Didn't mean to do that. I said my bad. All right. So in order to solve these, they need to both be equal to the same variable. So what would I need to do to the first equation? I either can, well, there's a couple ways. I can substitute in for Y and then go forward. I can get the other one equal to Y and go forward. Probably the fastest way is just to substitute. And the reason why is because I know what Y is. So where Y is, I'm going to put what does Y equal? X minus 2. So this is going to become X plus X divided by 2 equals 24,000. All right, so to eliminate the 2, instead of dividing everything by 2, I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply everything times 2. And what that does is it eliminates the denominator. So I'm left with 2x plus 1x equals 48,000. Combine like terms gives me 3x equals 48,000. And then lastly, isolate my variable. What is 48,000 divided by 3? 16,000. So we know that $16,000 in stocks, right? So if it's $16,000 in stocks, how much is in bonds? Huh? 8,000 because bonds equals half of the stocks, right? So we know that Y has to equal 16,000 divided by 2, which equals $8,000 in stocks. So the thing is with math. Okay, so as you can see, is the math difficult for word problems?
Yes.
The math is difficult? No, the math is not difficult. Where you get stuck at is the setup. That's where y'all get stuck at, okay? The math is usually word problems mathematically are the easiest to solve on a quiz or a test. What gets you is setting it up. The words, oh my gosh, you get stuck on the words. So you want to make sure you're looking for keywords. So like, remember how when I said is a keyword for equal. So I know I'm setting up an equation right there. And so pay attention to that. Pay attention to words like half, less than, and double, triple, because again, the setup is the quote unquote hardest part. The math is usually super simple once you get the setup going, okay? All right, this is our last one for the day. All right, our last problem. Here we go. Adriana grossed $621 1 week by working 44 hours. Her employer pays time and a half for all hours worked in excess of 40 hours. With this information, can you determine Adriana's regular hourly wage? I'm going to leave this for you to do because this is actually a applicable situation. Okay. So, all right, so this is how you can set it up. You know that she worked 44 hours. So 40 of them, she's gonna get her regular pay. And then 4 of them, she's gonna get pay times pay plus half of her pay. And then you just go from there and solve it. All right.